Are you trying too hard? Trying to control everything? Trying to keep up? Trying to please the world while slowly burning yourself out? We live in a world that constantly pushes us to strive, to succeed, to be punctual, to remain resilient, to improve. However, the irony is that the harder we try, the further we drift from our inner peace. And then one day, you realize what you need isn't more effort, it's less resistance. The Stoics knew this thousands of years ago. Don't force life, they said. What is truly yours will come when you're grounded enough to receive it. In today's video, you'll discover 10 Stoic lessons, not to change the world, but to change the way you show up in it, with stillness, with strength, and with a freedom that starts from within. Ready? Take a deep breath, and let's begin. No. 1. Have a firm purpose. Without a clear purpose, we drift. Our days become a blur of tasks and noise. We wake up, go through the motions, and wonder why we feel so hollow. But when we move with purpose, everything sharpens. Even ordinary actions begin to matter. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you don't have a consistent goal in life, you can't live it fully." So what grounds you? What are you waking up for? Having a firm purpose doesn't mean having all the answers. It means choosing direction over confusion, clarity over chaos. It means saying no to distractions, not because they're wrong, but because you have something more important to focus on. Imagine a tree rooted deep in the earth. Storms may shake its leaves, but its trunk holds steady. That's what purpose does for your soul. It steadies you. So ask yourself today, what would my day look like if I acted with intention, not impulse? What if each action became a step towards something I believe in? Your purpose doesn't have to be grand, it just has to be true. And when it is, everything else begins to align around it. No. 2. Master your emotions by mastering your thoughts. Emotions are not enemies, they are messengers. But when we let them drive the wheel, we crash. The Stoics taught that every emotion is born from a thought. Anger doesn't appear from nowhere. It grows from a belief that something unfair has happened. Fear arises when we believe we're unsafe. So if we want to change how we feel, we must begin by changing how we think. Epictetus said, "It's not things that upset us, but our judgments about things." You spilled coffee this morning. That's just a fact. But calling it a ruined day, that's a thought. And thoughts can be challenged. Imagine your mind as a calm lake. Every negative thought is like a stone thrown in. You can't stop the stones from coming, but you can choose not to keep tossing them yourself. When you slow down and question your beliefs, emotions begin to shift. The goal is not to feel nothing. The goal is to feel wisely. Your thoughts are seeds. What you plant will grow. So today, ask yourself, is this feeling helping me? Or is it just an echo of a thought I've never examined? No. 3. Handle criticism with wisdom and grace. Criticism is uncomfortable, but it's also inevitable. No matter how careful, kind, or capable you are, someone will misunderstand you. Someone will judge you. The Stoics didn't try to avoid criticism. They prepared for it. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily that people would lie, gossip, blame, and act unjustly. But he also reminded himself not to take it personally. Why? Because what others say reflects their mind, not your worth. If there's truth in the criticism, accept it and grow. If there isn't, let it go like smoke in the wind. Holding on only burns you. Imagine someone handing you a burning coal. You don't have to catch it. You can let it fall. That's the power of detachment. Stoicism teaches us to respond, not react. So the next time someone criticizes you, pause, breathe. Ask yourself, is this helping me improve, or is this just noise? Wisdom knows the difference. And grace? Grace is your ability to stay grounded when the world tries to shake you. No. 4. Turn offense into inner strength. It's easy to take offense. A sharp word, a cold glance, a careless comment, they land like arrows and pierce our peace. But the Stoics saw offense not as a weapon, but as a test. Epictetus taught that no one can hurt you unless you let them. What hurts is not what was said, but your judgment of it. So the next time something offends you, pause. Instead of reacting with anger or shutting down, ask, what part of me is being touched? Is it pride? Ego? Insecurity? Offense can be a mirror. It shows us where we're still vulnerable, and that's an opportunity. Every offense is a chance to grow stronger, calmer, and more centered. Imagine a tree again. Wind blows, people shout, stones may be thrown, but the tree doesn't flinch. It absorbs what it must, lets go of the rest, and keeps growing upward. So can you. Choose not to carry every insult. Choose to stay light. What offends you reveals what still owns you. But when you stop reacting, you reclaim your power, and that, quietly and consistently, becomes strength. No. 5. Face fear and shame with courage. Fear whispers in quiet moments. Shame hides in your silence. They don't shout, they linger. And when left unchecked, they shape how you live. You hold back, you shrink, you stop showing up fully. But the Stoics believed courage wasn't the absence of fear, it was action in the presence of it. Seneca wrote, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." That fear of failing, of being judged, of not being enough, it's often just a shadow on the wall. Step closer, and it fades. The only way out of fear is through it. And shame? It thrives in secrecy, but when brought to light, it loses power. Speak it, own it, release it. You are not your past. You are who you choose to become in this moment. Picture a warrior standing in front of a storm. He does not run. He plants his feet. So must you. Life will test your courage, not once but many times. And each time you choose to face fear and shame instead of hiding from them, you build something unshakable inside, something that no one can take from you. No. 6. Anticipate challenges before they arrive. Most people wait for problems to happen, then panic when they do. But the Stoics trained their minds to expect difficulty. Not in a negative way, but with clear-eyed realism. They called it premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of adversity. Marcus Aurelius would imagine each morning the people he might encounter, the chaos he might face, the delays, the insults, the setbacks. Why? Not to dread them, but to be ready for them. When you rehearse hardship in your mind, it loses the power to shock you. Like a warrior sharpening his blade before battle, you prepare not because you're pessimistic, but because you want to stay steady when life tests you. The traffic jam won't ruin your day if you expect it. The rejection won't shake you if you practiced acceptance. Don't be surprised by the storm. Strength lies in knowing it will come and still choosing to step outside. The world owes you no ease, but you owe yourself resilience. So tonight, before you sleep, ask, what might test me tomorrow, and how can I meet it with patience, clarity, and strength? No. 7. Build inner strength, not outer armor. We're taught to toughen up, to hide our pain, to act like nothing affects us. But what if real strength isn't about looking unbreakable on the outside, but being steady on the inside? The Stoics weren't cold or emotionless. They were grounded. Calm, not because life was easy, but because their strength came from within. Outer armor can crack, appearances fade, but inner strength, that quiet confidence, that resilience built over time, it lasts. It's not found in loud words or perfect images. It's in the way you return to yourself after failure. It's how you stay kind when you could be cruel. It's how you hold your values when no one's watching. Imagine a mountain. It doesn't need to shout to prove it's strong. It simply stands, through storm, through sun, unmoved. So ask yourself, are you building something others can see, or something only you can feel? True power doesn't need to be displayed. It just needs to be real. And when it is, you won't have to force it. The world will feel it. No. 8. Practice self-restraint and intentional action. The world tells you to act fast, to speak quickly, to say yes to everything. But the Stoics teach something far more powerful: restraint. The ability to pause, to wait. Do not let impulse run your life. Seneca said, "No person has the power to have everything they want, but it is in their power not to want what they don't have." Self-restraint is not about denial. It's about freedom. Freedom from being a slave to every desire, every urge, every emotional wave that rises. When you choose to pause before reacting, to listen before replying, to walk away instead of retaliating, you are not weak. You are in control. Intentional action means you don't just act because you can, but because it aligns with your values. It means choosing your battles, your words, and your silence with care. Imagine your life like a sculptor with a chisel. Each decision is a stroke. The less you react out of impulse, the clearer the shape becomes. And that shape your character is what defines you, not how loud you are, but how deliberately you live. No. 9. Embrace acceptance to unlock inner peace. Acceptance is not giving up. It's seeing clearly. It's recognizing that some things are outside your control and refusing to waste your energy fighting them. The Stoics believe that peace begins the moment we stop resisting reality. Epictetus said, "There is only one way to happiness, and that is to cease worrying about things which are beyond our power." When we try to force life to bend to our will, we suffer. But when we align ourselves with what is, we find space to breathe, space to act, space to be still. Acceptance doesn't mean apathy. It means responding from clarity, not chaos. It means saying, "This is what it is. Now what can I do with it?" Like water flowing around rocks, you move with life instead of crashing against it. Some things will go wrong. People will disappoint you. Plans will fall apart. but you get to choose whether that breaks you or teaches you. When you stop needing everything to go your way, you begin to find peace in the way things are. Noi 10. Live according to nature and true values. To the Stoics, living well wasn't about pleasure or power. It was about living in harmony with nature, both the world around you and your inner nature. That means being honest when it's easier to lie, choosing simplicity when the world pushes for more, acting with integrity even when no one's watching. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself to return to what was natural, to what aligned with reason, virtue, and the greater good. Because the more we drift from our true values, the more anxious, restless, and lost we feel. But when we live according to nature, life becomes clearer. We stop chasing what doesn't matter. We begin to honor what does. Nature doesn't rush, but it never stops. A tree doesn't compete with the one next to it. It simply grows. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. You just need to be aligned with who you are and what you know is right. So ask yourself, what would it mean to live today in a way that is true to your core? Not the version others expect, but the one you quietly know is real. Return to yourself. You don't have to change the world to live wisely. You don't need to be perfect to be at peace. What you need is to return to the still place inside you that knows what truly matters. The Stoics never promised comfort. They promised clarity, and through clarity, courage. Through courage, strength, and through strength, peace. The world outside will keep spinning. People will keep judging. Plans will keep falling apart. But in the center of it all, you can choose to stand still, to act from intention, not impulse, to live by principle, not pressure. This is the way of the Stoic, quiet, simple, powerful. Let this not be just a video you watched, but a lesson you live. One small thought, one mindful breath, one choice at a time. You already carry everything you need. Now it's time to use it. Thank you for being here. And if this message speaks to you, subscribe to Stoic Vault. Let's walk this path, one steady step at a time.